success is never permanent. In the world of business, today's titan can become tomorrow's memory. We often think of massive corporations as untouchable empires. They have billions in revenue, thousands of employees, and global dominance. But history is a graveyard of giants that refuse to adapt. Today, we are looking at the 10 most successful companies that failed. We will explore how they reached the top and the exact moment they lost it all. These are cautionary tales of ego, missed opportunities, and the brutal reality of market disruption. Let's see how the mighty have fallen. Number 10. Blockbuster. At its peak, Blockbuster was the undisputed king of home entertainment. They had over 9,000 stores and a blue and yellow sign on every street corner. But in 2000, they were offered the chance to buy a struggling startup called Netflix for $50 million. The Blockbuster CEO reportedly laughed them out of the room. They focused on late fees while the world moved to streaming. By the time they tried to launch their own digital service, it was too late. Today, only one single Blockbuster store remains as a nostalgic tourist attraction. Number 9. Nokia. Nokia was once the global leader in mobile phones. In the late 90s and early 2000s, they controlled nearly half of the entire market. They were known for durability and long battery life. However, they completely underestimated the importance of software and the shift to touchscreens. When the iPhone arrived in 2007, Nokia's operating system looked like a relic of the past. They stayed loyal to their old ways while the world embraced apps and data. A giant that once defined communication was sold off to Microsoft just a few years later. Number 8. Kodak. For over a century, the name Kodak was synonymous with photography. They didn't just sell cameras, they sold Kodak moments. Ironically, a Kodak engineer actually invented the first digital camera in 1975. But management suppressed the technology because they feared it would kill their lucrative film business. They chose to protect their past rather than embrace the future. By the time digital photography became the norm, Kodak's delay had left them bankrupt. They proved that if you don't disrupt yourself, someone else will. Number 7. Toys R Us. This was every child's favorite destination and a powerhouse of retail. Toys R Us dominated the toy industry for decades with its massive warehouse-style stores. Their downfall was a combination of massive debt and a failure to master e-commerce. They signed a deal to be Amazon's exclusive toy provider, which backfired and cost them their own online identity. As big box competitors in online shopping grew, the Toy King could no longer keep up. The mascot Geoffrey the Giraffe eventually had to say goodbye to them all. Number 6. Pan American. World Airways. Pan Am was the primary international carrier of the United States. They were the pioneers of the jet age and a symbol of luxury travel. Pan Am essentially shaped the modern airline industry. However, a combination of rising fuel prices, a series of tragic accidents, and a lack of domestic routes led to their decline. The company that once connected the continents eventually collapsed under its own weight. It remains a legendary brand, but one that could not survive the changing economics of flight. Number 5. Commodore. In the early 80s, Commodore was the king of the personal computer world. The Commodore 64 remains the best-selling single computer model of all time. They were more popular than Apple and IBM for a brief, glorious period. But internal management struggles and a failure to innovate on their hardware led to their demise. They missed the transition to the PC-compatible era. By 1994, the company that brought computing to the masses was forced into liquidation. Number 4. BlackBerry. Before the modern smartphone, there was the BlackBerry. It was the ultimate status symbol for business professionals and world leaders. Their physical keyboard and encrypted messaging made them the gold standard for security. But BlackBerry ignored the consumer market's desire for big screens and entertainment apps. They believed people only wanted a tool for work. The arrival of the App Store and Android made the BlackBerry feel like a glorified pager. They went from a 50% market share to nearly zero in record time. Number 3. Sears. For decades, Sears was the Amazon of its day. Their legendary catalog allowed people to buy everything from clothes to entire houses through the mail. They were the largest retailer in the United States and owned the world's tallest building. But Sears failed to maintain its stores and ignored the rise of digital retail until it was far too late. A century of retail dominance ended in a slow, painful bankruptcy. It is a stark reminder that even the most trusted brands can fade if they lose touch with their customers. Number 2. Yahoo. At the turn of the millennium, Yahoo was the gateway to the internet. They were a search engine, an email provider, and a news portal all in one. Their biggest failure was not what they did, but what they didn't do. They had the opportunity to buy Google for $1 million and passed. They had the opportunity to buy Facebook for $1 billion and lowballed the offer. They lacked a clear vision of what they wanted to be. Today, Yahoo is a shadow of its former self, owned by a telecommunications company. Number 1. Enron. While other companies failed due to lack of innovation, Enron failed due to a total collapse of ethics. At its peak, it was the 7th largest company in America and was named America's most innovative company 6 years in a row. But it was all a lie built on creative accounting and massive fraud. They hid billions of dollars in debt from their shareholders and employees. When the truth finally came out in 2001, the company vanished almost overnight. It remains the ultimate symbol of corporate greed and the dangers of a culture without integrity. The lesson from these 10 giants is simple. Innovation is the only way to stay relevant. And integrity is the only way to stay alive. Never stop looking forward.